This is WPSL Port St. Lucie.
.1008 at WPSL. The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. However, you are urged and encouraged to like and share them on Facebook because it's time for Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World in the historic Arcade Building in downtown Fort Pierce. And now, here's your host, Joanne Augusto.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. You know, on the background TV, I guess it's Kathy Lee's birthday this morning. And wow, this is bringing such incredible memories to me right now. My mom and I used to watch that every morning, you know, when we catch it together to have coffee and Kathy Lee and, oh my God, Regis, right? Regis and Kathy Lee.
My.
And it's bringing about such memories. It's been a long time now, but woo, that's great memories. So happy birthday, Kathy Lee. So I hope everyone's having a productive, awesome morning. I definitely have to start my morning with, of course, one of my family drama stories. So bringing a bunch of different kids to schools is usually exciting enough as it is. But I am dealing with 3 different car lines.
Oh.
And not always, but this morning was one of the cases where I had to go to 3 different car lines. And it was kind of hysterical because I must start with the one closest to my home.
Drive-through
in
by
Tradition.
chance?
So if any of my listeners bring their kids to Tradition Renaissance Charter, forgive me for my story, but it is the absolute truth. They are insane. They are absolutely insane. They
in a good way, right?
Oh yes, in a great way. So there is 2 lanes that go to the school, and we are told to stay on the right, and the left is the passing lane. So in case there's a retirement village right across from the school, so in case they need to access that, or there's a construction site to the left in case they need to go there.
Okay.
To me, very simple. Well, Elena is officially a walker, but it's her first year, so she's still kind of unsure the territory. So I drive her halfway, drop her off by the construction entrance, so she only has a couple blocks to walk. No big deal.
Okay.
Well, all these cars think I'm cutting them, and I'm trying to get in front of them in the thing. So, I mean, literally the first morning I had to roll down my window and try to explain myself to every car because they were ready to kill me and cut me off and run me off the road. And I'm like, I swear, I'm just dropping her off right there. I'm not cutting you. It was insane. It was insane. So that's been going on every morning. And then I had to bring Jonathan to Martin County High, which is, you know, a good half hour from my house. And that is really funny because I'm giving like the wimpy eyes to the crossing guards, like, oh, he's a 9th grader. It's my first time, and oh, please let me drop him off here, because if not, you're like, you know, a million blocks around the school waiting in this huge long line.
Oh, no.
And yeah, and then the next one, you know, it was kind of funny because all the kids are dotting in between the cars and there's no teachers out there. I'm like, are you guys sure you're supposed to be getting out? Like, there's like cars moving and kids running in between them. This doesn't look right to me.
I know what you're leading up to, though.
So the topic of the day.
The 3 car lines, though.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I don't
You
know what
need
I'm
to
leading up to.
breathe.
Please tell.
You
Yes,
need to
the
breathe,
breathing for
because
sure.
3 car lines, road rage, you know, and none of it's any good.
Yeah,
But-
it did not only the breathing, of course we do every Thursday morning, but you know what? It brought me to the topic of the day, ADD and ADHD.
Okay.
Because as I was looking at myself and many others around me, and I looked up a couple different things about bipolar and stuff, I was like, the whole world has it. It's not just, it's like, if you really dissect all these different personality disorders, really all of us, I believe, unless someone's really full of themselves, would definitely say that they have at least one characteristic of, I mean, it's pages and pages that they describe. Who doesn't have a bad morning? Who doesn't get agitated? Who doesn't get a little anxiety? I mean, everyone's got a little
Well, we
something.
can palm it off on a disorder.
Yeah, like let's just label ourselves all day long with all different stuff. So I'm just going to talk today about, some of the little tips that I'm finding to survive. Some of them are working, some aren't.
All right.
And also, hopefully, as days go on and everyone gets used to this back-to-school routine, and even for my listeners that don't have kids going to school, I know you had to deal with us crazy parents and buses and kids and stopping and
Traffic
so
lines.
yeah, so it kind of applies to everyone, this topic. But breathing exercise. So one of my very good customers, Joe. Hey, Joe. Good morning.
Hey, Joe.
He felt bad because he always misses the very first part of the show because of work.
We're a little late with it this morning, so
yeah,
maybe
so
he's
I'm
just in
taking
time.
my time to get to the breathing, so I'm hoping he's on about now because he really was practicing with me in the store yesterday. So I really want to make clear, during this breathing exercise, we are not using our mouth.
Right.
And if you are a mouth breather, sometimes we do it subconsciously without being aware of it. So just put your fingers over your mouth so that way, by mistake, you're not using that. We want to really use our nasal capacity here to lower blood pressure, to help focus and concentration, bring more oxygen in for our immune system. So today, newbies, welcome. We do this every Thursday morning to get ourselves ready for the day, and hopefully you're doing it at home as well. So we are going to exhale all the stress and drama and junk of the morning and the week. And then we're going to inhale with the great counting leadership of Cliff for 5, hold for 5, and exhale for 5. Again, only using our nose.
This is kind of slow for normal breathing.
Since I'm in the safety of the studio, I'm going to close my eyes and use my fingertips to count.
Right.
If you're driving, eyes open, everyone.
If you're watching the video archive, you'll actually see what Joanne does with her hands while the breathing exercise goes on, and you could learn that because it helps you center your focus of attention.
Yes, there's actually studies done to show that it will lower your blood pressure immediately doing this technique. So I hope everyone joins us. So let's do this. Ready? And let's, how about this morning? Let's do for 5, okay? We really get all our listeners 5 times.
5 times.
Yeah, we're going to do 5 times, get all our listeners really energized, focused, and get them calm.
Okay.
Here we go.
Let it all out.
Okay, let it all out.
Okay, it was all out. Okay, now Greg is sitting in the yoga position with his hands
Come on,
folded.
Greg, do it with us.
Sit cross-legged.
Here we go.
There you go, on the cushion. All right. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one more. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When I snap my fingers, you'll wake up refreshed and totally aerated.
Thank you, Cliff. Thank you. That was wonderful counting. I hope everyone participated. It really does help, and we can't just say this enough. This is free, available to all, and it's clinically proven to lower blood pressure, help focus and concentration. Again, no need for meds, no need for alcohol, sugar, and all these things to get us up and get us down. Let's first start with our breathing.
Yeah, and you can do that for a little bit of time like we just did, or some people can do it for hours.
Yes, and I want to stress, too, that there is no right or wrong other than do not use your mouth, but try to do a short count if you found that 5 was too difficult, or go a little slower, a little faster. But you can work as deeply as you can. There are breathing methods that some of my mentors use, a very rapid breathing method. That takes some experience, so work into that. But first, really get your lungs used to these nice, deep breaths. So I hope Joe caught that. And then I want to mention that the store is still having the Garden of Life probiotic sale. Normally it's 20% off, but into the end of this month, it's 30% off on the refrigerated Garden of Life probiotics. So
remember, when you're in a grocery store and you see something that says probiotics, it's not necessarily all yogurt is not probiotic.
yes,
right?
and a customer came in yesterday and she goes, oh, because of the different drugs I'm on, I can't eat dairy, but I'm on an antibiotic and I want to get probiotics. And I said, that's a good thing, because most of the yogurts out there, if not all, have tons of sugar, and it's animal strains of probiotic. So definitely, if you want good bacteria, which should be every day for the rest of your life, not just when you're taking an antibiotic, get, good quality probiotics. There are shelf-stable ones as well nowadays, but I would definitely start with not getting ones that are full of sugar and, refined dairy products. All right, so ADD, ADHD, one of those topics, again, that back when I was in school didn't even learn about, not even talked about. Kind of crazy. Now everyone's talking about it. And especially come early August, late July, I get many parents rushing into the store almost in panic mode because they want their kids' behavior to be well enough so that the school system doesn't suggest medications. And they are very fretful because they know in the summer they have their kids on a pretty good routine, but they're not sure if their behavior will be suitable for the school system, because we all know by now, with the Montessori schools out there, the different books about different brains and the different ways children learn, and the thousands, maybe millions now, of children that are homeschooling, mainly because some kids are not meant to get up early and sit for 8 hours in a chair in a structured environment staring at paper or a board. It's just not something that the human brain can adapt to. It's something I've always believed in. If you have to medicate a child to sit still for 8 hours, maybe there's a healthier approach. Maybe there's a different answer. So I know it's a struggle for many parents or caretakers and caregivers, and I would just suggest that first look into lifestyle or different alternatives if the school system is really pushing medications on your child right away. Because there are severe side effects to most of those medications. And I would strongly suggest doing your homework before you take advice to start your child on it. So what I usually suggest to these parents that are really in a panic mode, to first take a hard look without being defensive. You got to take your emotions and put them aside. And without being defensive, look at how are you feeding your child. Because we are set up in a society where the children expect, it happens in my house too, so I totally know what all these parents are going through, refined carbohydrates for each and every meal, and those turn into sugar really quickly, and they make the brain get really frantic really quickly. And so some of these children are really small, like, little kids that usually they start being labeled with ADD and ADHD as young as like 5, 6, 7. So this is exactly the age they're expected to go from running around the house and playing and really sleeping in, taking naps and eating little meals all day long, to all of a sudden, that 3 structured American meal set up, and they're sitting in a classroom. It's a lot different for them. Their bodies cannot adjust sometimes as quickly as we'd like them to with a snap. Hey, this is what society says, do this. And, some kids' bodies can't. So the first suggestion is try to slowly, if you do have them on a habit of Pop-Tarts or toasted pastries or sweet maple syrup with waffles in the morning, or very sweet, I call them fast food cereals, ones that have a lot of sugar or colors. I understand the convenience and why the kids want them, right? But that would be the start of the detriment to the brain, because number one, it sends the blood sugar on this horrific roller coaster ride. It has nothing that will make it feel balanced and ready to sit and study. It has things in there that's going to make them feel more jittery, almost like they've had caffeine. So I would definitely suggest, now that school's here, I can't say, pull it out during the summer, but start slowly, maybe cutting that in half and adding something that's a healthy fat. So if they like, now peanuts are not in this category, so I want a lot of parents use peanut butter for this, but I'd rather you try something different, like cashews, Brazil nuts, hazelnuts, filberts. Try walnuts, a different variety of nuts. And if they like steel cut oatmeal or get them used to it, I would put some dried cranberries, which have a lot of sweetness, and they do have sugar. So the kids are getting sweetness, but you're just controlling it a little more because the steel cut oatmeal has fiber. Whenever you introduce fiber into mealtime, it's going to slow down the passage of the sugar to the brain. So if all of a sudden you try to get those kids who are addicted to that refined starch and sweetness to just go to something that we might choose because we know it's healthier, it's a rough road for them. The sugar monster is controlling their choices, and they're frantic. They want that sugar to get their next, boost of energy. And so try to find nuts and seeds that they'll enjoy. If right away they're adamant about oh, that looks like bird seed, it's crazy, what are you doing to me? There's ways that you can hide it. Like if you have a coffee grinder, they usually have 2 different attachments. The second attachment will blend nuts. Or if you have any, the Ninja Bullet, the Veggie Bullet. I've been known to be a blender hoarder. I posted a picture on Facebook. I have 11 of them because different blenders do different things better than others. And so if you have a blender that will blend, nuts, some of me and my friends, we would soak our nuts overnight. And then you drain the water, and then you blend the nuts, and then you have your homemade version of nut butter, and you can hide it in a sandwich with the kids. You can put it into a smoothie or protein shake, but that will give the child some healthy protein and nuts. Healthy protein and fibers. So again, you can crush some nuts and put it with steel cut oatmeal, or you can put it in a drink. But I would definitely try that instead of just refined starch. And we have a caller. Good morning, Sarah.
Hi, Joanne. There's nothing better than avocado toast, and avocado is a healthy fat.
Oh, my gosh. Sarah, that is my favorite breakfast, and I love it. I do have, my daughter, I have 1 out of 4 that will eat avocado. And I have a lot of my, homeschooling moms that they survive with their children with avocados. They put it in their sandwiches and their salads and their smoothies. And I do agree with you, but I think sometimes there's this issue with green.
Well, then sometime on top of the avocado, you can put sliced strawberries.
That's a great idea.
Blueberries, and you can even slice an egg, the round part instead of long ways. You can slice, and that way you have a circular egg with some yolk on there.
Sarah, can you come over my house every morning? Can you help?
I was going to get to the complex carbs you were talking about. That starch that quickly turns to sugar, that is the cause of the type 3 diabetes, which also leads to Alzheimer's.
Yes, and I'm going to go into that more in the show. And Sarah, you're correct, and I know you're such a good listener. And the one thing that I am trying to accept as a mother, and especially now, a shared parenting with the ex and my fiance and his ex is, you try to make healthy choices, but then when children have taste of that other really refined stuff on a daily basis, they sometimes look at avocado on toast as you're insane. What is this? And I love it.
Slice papaya. Put a slice of papaya on it, so it's covered with some orange.
Yes, that's and that is delicious.
Red. Yeah.
Well, that sounds extremely creative and delicious, and I know I will partake, and I'm going to try to get the kids. So thank you as always for calling in, Sarah. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Well, That's the other thing. Like, you go on Pinterest and you type in, healthy ideas for kids' breakfasts and lunches, and there are thousands out there. But once again, it's basically getting your kids to realize that, fruits and vegetables and, little simple proteins are real food and real meals. Like, it doesn't have to be frosted and sparkly to be real. It's like that's the fake food that, doesn't make us healthy. And I was talking to the kids and they said, well, we're children. We should be allowed to eat whatever we want. And I was like so thankful Matt wasn't in the car to hear that line, because I just looked at him. I said, so we should let you guys eat anything and everything you want, just like sugar all day? Yes, that's what's being a child. And I was like, okay, well, we definitely got to sit down and talk about this subject again.
Well, what happens when they sugar up in the morning? What happens about 10 o'clock?
I know, it's insane. It's insane, and I know what happens in my brain if I ever have that sugar monster control me for a moment and I make a bad choice. Not only do I instantly regret it because I feel that sugar hitting my brain, but I crash. I get like that real quick energy that's uncontrollable, and then I crash down, and I weigh a whole lot more than these children do. So I just can't even imagine when they're eating all this junk.
They don't even notice it though. They're all hyped up.
Yeah.
From the sugar, and they're all excited about something else. And
so, but I do live in this world, and I do realize the reality that we are all going through. So that's why when I was talking about, breakfast, add it in. If you start teaching them that, just like how we're taught dessert. You can have your dessert after you eat all your vegetables. That kind of seemed to work for all these hundreds of years. So I'm thinking maybe I could say, okay, you can get a quarter of a waffle, if you have, like my steel cut oatmeal with, I still do organic free range eggs. So, like a poached egg or something like that. I love protein shakes. My kids usually are good with that. But I definitely want to stress, if you are struggling with a child or yourself, because adults can get ADD and ADHD as well, that please know that the diet is 80% of the solution, okay? And it also is normally 90% of the cause. So you want to just really be honest with yourself and know that it is possible to feel better within a day just by changing what you're consuming. So more fiber, more healthy protein, and it can even be from vegetarian sources, and definitely a lot more water and a lot more awareness about not having as much sugary starches. Now, artificial sweeteners are worse for the brain. They send it signaling crazy, so definitely no artificial sweeteners. So I just want to make sure. Oh, and oils, like I mentioned the nuts. So if you do still consume fish, I know sometimes kids really don't like most of the fish products, but there are fish oil supplements that taste delicious. My kids love anything that Barleans makes. So Barleans is Barleans. Most every health food store sells Barleans. I don't know, but ever who's behind their taste testing always gets it right. They make the most delicious, they're called is swirls. And the swirls, they have vegan swirls, and then they have the fish oil swirls. And there's like mango, there's blueberry, there's lemon. These taste absolutely delicious, and they do not have sugar in them. And so it has been proven, there's many clinical studies that show for a child's brain or an adult's brain, if you are suffering with any type of brain issues where you don't feel like you're catching on when you should be, you don't feel like you can focus when everyone else is, your thoughts are getting scattered, then fish oil is a great place to start. Even if you find that changing your diet is a little too challenging, first start with giving your brain lots of water because it loves that the most, and then some nice healthy fats. So coconut oil, fish oil, nuts, seeds, Great way. Olive oil, if you don't like the taste of coconut or something, then or fish, do olive oil. All these healthy fats is what the brain's made out of, and it's balancing. It doesn't spike your sugar, and it's definitely proven they do not make you fat. They do not increase your fat cell size. That's toxins and sugars and starches and chemicals and meds that do that. Okay. So I think, Cliff, maybe this is a good time to take a quick break.
Okay.
And when we get back, we're going to talk about using certain supplements to help with ADD and ADHD, and also essential oils, one of my favorite topics.
Joanne's World of Nutrition, back in 2 minutes with more.
Guiding the Treasure Coast in health, one person at a time. That's their motto at Joanne's Nutrition World, Suite 121, in the historic arcade building on US 1, downtown Fort Pierce. Joanne brings more than 25 years of experience in the natural health industry, right here to you. Take advantage of this free personal guide to wellness and good health. Meet with Joanne herself and get started. Nutrition World always provides you with the hottest new product lines, natural and homeopathic remedies, herbals, and best of all, expert advice from the people who care. Call Joanne at 464-3598, 464-3598, and learn the correlation between diet and great health. Stop in today. The expert guidance to health is always free at Nutrition World. Nutrition World, Suite 121 in the Arcade Building, US 1, downtown Fort Pierce. Weather this hour is brought to you by Seacoast Air Conditioning, your hometown air conditioning company since 1982. For repairs or a whole new system, call 772-466-2400.
Drier air continues to move into the Treasure Coast this morning, but there's still a slight chance for a few coastal showers during the morning hours. Then this afternoon, very low chances for any rain along the coast, and slightly higher chances for some isolated rainfall farther inland. High temperatures today in the low 90s with the heat index in the low 100s. Partly sunny to mostly sunny skies and a breeze out of the southeast. I'm WPTV Storm Team 5 meteorologist Glenn Glazer, WPSL 1590, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
Weather this hour is brought to you by Seacoast Air Conditioning, your hometown air conditioning company since 1982. For repairs or a whole new system, call 772-466-2400.
Comfort crisis? Don't roast. Call Seacoast.
We now return to Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World, conveniently located in downtown Fort Pierce on US 1, between Orange Avenue and Avenue A, directly across from Fort Pierce City Hall. That's Joanne's Nutrition World. And now back to the show with your host, Joanne Augusto.
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for spending the morning with me. I really appreciate all my listeners, and today we are talking about ADD and ADHD, and what I was, just commenting during break. It's kind of alarming that not only didn't I learn about any of these things because they really were not in the textbooks, but people that I am dealing with now on a daily basis are telling me that, autism on a rise, ADD, ADHD, bipolar, manic, depression, epilepsy, Alzheimer's, dementia, like the list goes on and on and on. And, it's an OCD, like you said it on the break, it's a joke.
It was later in life for me for OCD, Old Cliff Desmond.
Yeah, that's a good joke. I would definitely run with that one. But it's
you
so
gotta
true,
laugh to keep
though.
from crying sometimes.
Yes, exactly, right? But so I always try to think common sense and not overcomplicate. So here, these are all things where the brain is not cooperating with us. And so I just ask all my listeners to just kind of take stock in what they're doing. Maybe before the medication pathway, before you go on that journey, are you drinking enough water? Are you getting exercise outdoors early morning or late evening to get a little bit of sunlight and get outside with nature? Are you trying to eat healthy foods that feed the brain. The brain is primarily healthy fat and water. So just start there, because these things can be scary if we look at them like, okay, this is what's going to be happening to us in 10 years or 20 years, no matter what I do. That's not true. There's many clinical studies now that show that you can protect your brain from this free radical, which is the damaging stuff. You can. And not only diet and exercise, but essential oils have 11 clinical studies. And that is huge because, clinical studies take time and money. And a lot of companies, especially if they're not pharmaceutical companies, will not take the time to do this because they think of it like, well, how can I get back this investment? And, it's kind of tough sometimes. So you can, internet search for hours about all the different essential oils. There's courses available, really big books to learn about the 100 different uses of many different essential oils. And I'm pretty obsessed with them. But I want to cover some of the basics, okay? So I am glad to say that my favorite essential oil is one of the main ones used for ADD and ADHD, and that is peppermint oil. And so I do have to tell a little story that I just heard about because it just shows how many uses. So I have 3 dogs, and one of them lives with my ex-husband, and he's a chocolate lab. And he got bit by a frog 2 mornings ago, and he almost died. It was one of those poisonous frogs, and luckily it was caught, like he had a seizure right away, so they got him to the vet, which luckily was down the block, and they saved his life really quickly by getting that poison out.
Bufo toads.
Yes, bufo toads. And it was a really scary morning. I mean, I was so upset because the chance was not good for him, but they saved him. He's okay now. But the bottom line with this story was that when the ex looked into fighting the toads in his yard, because he does get a lot of them, they use peppermint oil as a deterrent and as a natural thing, so that way other animals or things are not hurt by chemicals and pesticides and that kind of stuff. So peppermint oil is definitely my favorite because it keeps away mosquitoes,
as if you don't
no
like mothballs.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
And so now, bufo toads, that's what they call, right?
Yeah.
Bufo. Yeah, scary things. Scary,
And if you
scary.
have a small standing pond in your yard, a little of that peppermint oil in the water probably won't hurt anything except for the toads that are in it.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt them. It just deters them to staying around your yard.
Okay.
And I mean, I have so many of those little ones which supposedly don't hold the poison. When I step off to my patio to walk my dogs, they can drop on me. It's like so disgusting.
Ooh.
I'm like, oh my God.
The frogs?
Yeah, they jump
Those
off the walls onto me. It's like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like one of those princesses, but
Those
instead
are
of
tree
birds on
frogs,
my
yeah.
arms, I have little tree frogs dropping
Yep,
on me.
yep.
Absolutely disgusting. But yeah, so peppermint oil, so many different uses. Like I said, you would need like probably hours to study all the oils, but peppermint oil is phenomenal, whether it's put with a little carrier oil like coconut on the temples or on the neck. Okay, those are 2 great places to help you or your child if they have any learning disability. So this is clinically proven that the peppermint oil is used for concentration and focus. And I just love it, and I run it through my store every single day because peppermint oil is also very clarifying. So, and it's cooling too. So especially with these hot, humid days, it's nice to come in and just feel refreshed as well. So if you want to try something that's really inexpensive, easy to do, you can buy a diffuser, put a few drops with some water in your diffuser, run it through the whole house as soon as you wake up in the morning, get the kids smelling that to get them, on target for the day. This morning I didn't run mine, and right away as I'm driving, I'm going, I'm going to start running peppermint as early as I wake up, because we all need a little jump start in the morning to get us going. So, but if you really have a child that is just, they can't make eye contact. They're all over the place. Try the peppermint oil on their neck. Just do not put it near their eyes.
Is that little device in your store that has steam coming up out of it?
Yes, I always promote the one on Amazon because I bought mine. It was $35. I bought it more than 3 years ago now. Run it 7 days a week pretty much, and have them all at home too. And they're amazing. They've never broke. A lot of the plastic ones that I've gotten from little stores nearby, if I want it, because I love them in every room, they break really quick. And so I don't know if they've improved theirs, but throughout these years, the Amazon one for $35 has always done well with me, and it really gives out a wonderful odor. Like, it really is strong with the misting.
For like aromatherapy, peppermint oil?
Yeah, so peppermint oil is my number one choice, my number one winner. So if you're, buying, please buy real oils, non-synthetic. And if you don't know which one to start with, I strongly suggest peppermint. Again, many studies done with peppermint. It's pretty much liked by most people. You only need a few drops, and it has so many different uses. But for learning difficulties, peppermint is number one. Now, you might be saying, well, my child definitely doesn't need more energy. My child needs to chill out more. He or she is bouncing off the walls. So then you might think more like lavender. But it's extremely important you only buy natural lavender oil. If you buy a synthetic lavender, it actually could aggravate the condition. An example of that was this morning. So my daughter made slime with her friends, and she used laundry detergent that wasn't natural. And it had that chemical oil smell, like the lavender or whatever it was. And that perfumey smell, oh my gosh, it set my brain off. And they definitely show that, our brains cannot handle this overabundance of these room fresheners, room sprays, laundry detergent, perfumes, cleaning products. They all have all these different chemical components that have never been tested together. So if your, skin being the largest organ is just taking that in, and all these different chemicals are coming at you from different ways, your body might be overwhelmed, and you might not be at your best, and your behavior could change. I definitely find that when I'm taking in too many synthetic smells, or the same way I get with cigarette smoke, I don't mean to get, rattled or off-centered, but I do. My body's like, whoa, I can't handle all these chemical or toxic smells at once. It really, I'm oversensitized to it. So I would definitely suggest that you buy all natural oils. Natural lavender to synthetic lavender is night and day. Synthetic lavender will not have a healing, calming, peaceful benefit like natural will.
Available at Nutrition World.
Yes, really, all good health food stores should have high quality oils. The lavender, again, if your child is really feeling off focus and very hyper, you can do that same trick that you would do with peppermint. A little tiny bit of coconut oil on your fingertips, a couple drops of lavender right on their pulse points on their head, or right below their neckline. Some people put essential oils on their child's feet. So whichever works for you. But it just depends on the age of the child and their behavior towards this routine. Some kids are so used to their parents using essential oils that they spray it on them like a body mist to really help their body cooperate with whatever they're looking for.
Sounds handy when you're going to school.
Yes, it is. And the one thing that, and I have dogs, so I spray peppermint on my dogs too to make them smell better, and these are things that, it's so much better than chemicals. But there are a couple oils that really have taken an interest with me, and I don't carry a lot of them now, but I will start now that I read this clinical study that balance hormone levels. So clinically proven to balance hormone levels, which really is an easy test to take. So, you take someone's hormones, you make a change of these oils in their life, and then you test after. So it lowered cortisol levels. That's that stress hormone that really makes us pudgy in the belly, a little frantic. and helped balance your progesterone and estrogen. Phenomenal things, right? So it was geranium and clary sage. So those are 2 oils. They're not too expensive, but usually not very popular. But in geranium, depending on its source, can be expensive. But from what I understand, that they didn't use the top of the line for the study. So I would definitely look into those. And the other one that lots of great studies going on now is vetiver. So vetiver has this wonderful smell, almost like a lemongrass smell. I can get it. I can special order it in like a body spray. That is another one to help ADD and ADHD. So that's vetiver. So I would definitely look into that one. And this is just really cutting edge, awesome stuff because no side effects. You pull up Adderall, you pull up any of these things for brain health that is a medication, and the side effects are scary. I mean, sometimes the first side effects listed is suicidal thoughts. The first side effect. Who wants to put their child on a medication that they might consider suicide? We're already worried enough about our children's health and all the silly stuff going on. I'm putting the word, really playing it down, but it's crazy out there, all the crazy stuff.
Well, the oils that help with the hormones, is that handy to parents with teenagers?
Yes, right? And that's the whole thing is that, you hear about couples getting a divorce because the female is in that perimenopausal stage, and menopausal, it's like PMS on fire. And I sometimes have husbands that shop in the store because the females are too they're too stressed out, and they're on the verge of tears, or they don't know what's happening to their bodies. And I am so sympathetic because I know what that feels like. And if you can run a diffuser and spray some oil in the air, even if this clinical study was only 10% correct, and if it could help 10%, why not try? It's safe, it's healthy, and it's inexpensive. So look into getting a diffuser, getting some of these oils, putting them in your home. If you hate the smell, don't use it, because right away your brain will tell you, yuck. But there are so many different smells. Most health food stores,
try different oils, right?
Yeah, and most health food stores have testers. Like we have testers for all the main ones. Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, eucalyptus. Lemon and orange. Those are joyful oils. Those are great to wake up the family in the morning, make everything smell nice. So don't be afraid to try essential oils.
So they clean out the microwave as they put a slice of lemon on a saucer, put it in the microwave, and it'll take that stank out of the microwave.
Yes, and I tried on Facebook. They had one too. I think it was baking soda with water, and then you put some lemon drops in it. I guess it's the same thing that you're saying, but the steam and the baking soda cleans it and deodorizes it. So so if you don't have fresh fruit around, that's the best part about essential oils. Like the isogenics oils I just got at the Nashville convention, they're all food grade, so you can actually add them to, not all of them, but most of them, you can add them to your shakes to make a different flavor. So you can put the lemon right in your water. So, because lemons are expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Lemons and limes. So, and if when you cut one,
they're
you're like,
imported,
well,
there's a tariff.
Yeah, I don't want the whole lemon and lime, but I don't want to waste her to dry it out. Yeah. So this way you have a little more control of the oils, and it's a good thing. Yeah. So we definitely want to get chemical smells out of your home and your work environment to keep your brain on a friendly level. You definitely want to add really good aromatherapy that has healing benefits by the use of diffuser or application. One other little tricks I want to give my listeners: if you're interested in doing oils but you find that you can't be around diffuser at work, or it's a little too strong for you to put it on your skin if you have real sensitive skin, this is a trick I do sometimes. So even if you have short hair, you take a tiny bit of coconut oil and you put the oil that you're trying to use on, and you put it on your hair the closest to, obviously your nasal passages. So I put it right by the hair that's near my ears, because then you literally will smell it all day, but it's not touching your skin. So the coconut oil, I mean, unless you have really, really oily hair, it does not show. It dissipates. Some people even use it as a sheen for their hair. So you can try that out. That way you have the smell all day without, possibly irritating your skin, which most of the time, if you're using real coconut oil and real essential oils, you should not have any interaction with your skin. All right, so some other supplements to help ADD and ADHD is probiotics. I know I'm like always talking about probiotics, but your gut health is the beginning highway for every single function in the human body. Like Sarah, the caller that mentioned, everything is the starch with Alzheimer's dementia. It's all true, clinically proven. You put a lot of fermented sugar and junk in your gut, your brain will react poorly in so many different ways. So not only do you have to protect your brain from toxins coming to it, but you also have to give your gut lots of healthy, good bacteria. So all the mechanisms that the body does, the millions of different things to keep us healthy and strong, are working properly. So our food supply is devoid of good, healthy bacteria. Do not be fooled by any gimmicky grocery store labels. So I do sell reputable, healthy, economical sources of good bacteria. So you definitely want to start them right away. And then after that, you've got choline. So choline is a B vitamin. I strongly suggest taking it with other B complex. So Terry Naturally, one of my favorite brands, makes an amazing B vitamin. It's choline with other B vitamins. There is a really long, very complicated clinical study about acetylcholine and choline in the brains that are not performing correctly. And so the choline and the other B vitamins that are in Terry's formula are coenzymated. That just means that the hard work has already been done for you, so it's ready for the body to take it in and function with it. So you don't have to worry about the stress of a B vitamin being broken down and turned into a usable form. It's already been done for you. So I would definitely strongly suggest getting a quality coenzymated B complex. When you go into some stores, it will say mega Bs or the strongest Bs on the planet, and they're huge, big, smelly tablets. That's a good sign to run because
they give you hot flashes, right?
Well, they make you nauseous for starters. Like a lot of times, even with prenatals, they'll be like, "Oh my God, I got so nauseous, I actually threw up." That is because B vitamins are the most synthetic supplements. Well, most of them are, but really hard. And it's so funny. Most people take B vitamins for energy and to fight stress. But synthetic B vitamins take so much energy to convert to a usable form that the body actually gets stressed out trying to do it. So you definitely want to get a B vitamin that's coenzymated. So Country Life makes a great one, Coenzyme Bs. Our house brand makes one. I'm going to give a shout out to Peggy's and Stewart. I love Peggy. We've been in this business for 35 plus years together. Her house brand also has coenzymated B vitamins. So they are available everywhere, not in mass stores, but any reputable health food store. So start there. A good whole food multi. So your brain needs to have nourishment, needs to be fed. But what's the next thing that I keep mentioning? It needs to be protected from free radical and toxins. So not only do you need to be careful what you're smelling from chemicals, but you also want to protect the bad stuff from getting into the brain barrier. So essential fatty acids, like I mentioned, the fish oil and the healthy nuts and oils would be a great start. But vitamin C in natural forms. So I take amla C. So amla berry is a natural form of vitamin C. Again, non-synthetic. So I would definitely find a food-based vitamin C that will help protect the brain and help the fluid that's coming around to protect it. The other favorite is called alpha lipoic acid. This is so amazing. Most antioxidants or free radical neutralizers are either water soluble or fat soluble. So our cells are both. So to get something that's specialized to protect your inside of your cells and the outside barrier in one is pretty darn special. And alpha lipoic also does that. So it works on protecting your whole cell. And here's the best part. It stabilizes your sugar at the same time. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the show, what really sends havoc to the brain is too much sugar, which we all know can lead to diabetes or sugar disorders and such terrible damage to the human body and all the artery walls. So alpha lipoic is amazing stuff. You can do it normally 300 milligrams, 600 milligrams, but I would look into alpha lipoic acid and get a good quality one, please. Okay. Holy moly, I ran out of time already.
Still got a whole minute.
Okay, all right. So the other thing, I just blinked out. Oh, mushrooms. Okay, so fermented mushrooms, great for the immune system, great for your gut bacteria, great for your overall health, but it protects that brain. So please drink some water, get some exercise, eat healthy, get these supplements in to protect your brain, and everyone have an amazing week and love all you guys.
Don't forget to breathe every day.
And breathe.
Breathe. You know, most medical experts and professionals recommend breathing.
Strongly suggest breathing on a day-to-day basis.
That's right.
Oh, and thanks again, Cliff. You're awesome. All right, bye, everybody.
Have a lot of fun. You've been listening to Joanne's World of Nutrition from Nutrition World on US 1 between Orange Avenue and Avenue A across from City Hall in Fort Pierce. Join Joanne every Thursday morning in the 10 o'clock hour for Joanne's World of Nutrition right here on WPSL.